Thank you, guys. Hey, everyone. Nice to meet you guys on this wonderful Saturday morning. Thank you guys for taking the time out to learn about AI. Please think of some questions as I'm kind of going through the program. And, just feel free to tinker. If you don't have ChatGPT on your phone, go sign up right now. It's free on your application, your Android or mobile phone. Check it out as I'm going through it and ask it questions about your invention. Ask it as if, you seriously want to get the answer. So is my idea good? What should I be thinking about? We're just going to talk about AI, understanding it. My background, of course, in AI, I'll talk about it a little bit more. Some use cases that are familiar, not too far-fetched for everybody to understand. Getting started with your idea and kind of going through that process of using AI for it. Some legal discussions, talking about, what's some things that you should be concerned about or should be aware about. And then final remarks. Then we can go and enjoy our beautiful Saturday. So, my name's William, as you know, Will Smith. I get all the time to all the Will Smith jokes, so please, don't slap nobody. You from Philly, your mom think about this. Yep, I get it all the time. I am a solutions architect and former director of strategy at Microsoft and Deloitte, and I've worked for enterprise solutions, making them money or save money, essentially. So I worked in cloud. During my tenure at Microsoft, I helped build a roadmap plan for ChatGPT and Copilot in the central US for the enterprise customers. I had a book. I got a few copies, so if you answer some good questions, I'll definitely give you some. And currently I'm a fractional CTO. I work out of 1871. And everybody knows about CIO. I don't feel the need to kind of hone in on this, but I will say one thing. It's a non-for-profit organization that helps inventors be better inventors. So they get the resources, prototyping, monthly meetings, and kind of that whole shindig. But the one thing I want to hone on is they help acquire 119 patents, 7 trademarks, 6 copyrights, 129 prototypes, 3 license agreements, 25 new business formations, and 24 manufacturing inventory. So they know what they're doing. Thank you, CIO. All right, let's get into the AI part. So without going too far-fetched, because it can be a very nuanced discussion, at a very simple level, AI is just making computers think like humans. That's it. How can we emulate the biological trait of learning for a computer that we have done throughout our years, right? We teach our children how to be good children, and we impart the knowledge based on what we know, based on what we used to do, what we messed up, examples, past experiences, and we embed that into our future leaders. Same for computers. We try to make beep boop into something smart. It helps really, to think about it in this way, it just making things more efficient, right? More computers, making more faster, making them think. Have you ever noticed, when you go to a traffic light and it's like, man, if this thing could think, it's only just one me, I could just go straight through. That would be AI. If it could just literally just see you and just say, hey, come through. It's just the act of just smarter, intelligent machines. Unfortunately, I wish I had a better machine because my computer kind of messes up all the time. Enhanced decision making, so it's more cognizant and is able to simply make better decisions. It's better with customer experience in theory. So when you call Verizon up and you have an issue, you're not repeating yourself or yelling at it, and it's supposed to reduce costs. So we can't be available 24 hours. We have our own responsibilities. We have a life, and this is something that's 24/7 as long as the internet's working. So what is AI and what is it not, right? So AI are intelligent programs. So I can't necessarily say my phone is AI, but it can definitely implement AI. Siri would be a form of AI. It's a very narrow AI. ChatGPT is an implementation of AI built on the cloud. And it's not necessarily right now an independent thinker. We can't emulate it in a way where it's human-like, where it'll take full control of our day-to-day lives or challenges. It's right now in the co-pilot seat. So we're still driving the ship. It's customizable, it's very feature-oriented, and it helps for building faster solutions. So when you're thinking about your idea, you're thinking about, who could I not get access to that I can get access to now? And how can I simulate certain things faster than I could originally? AI. Of course, cost effective, that's really good for big businesses. It's not a silver bullet, it's not the end all be all. You can't expect to shoot a bad idea and it'll come out great, and it's not the end of humanity. This one may go a little bit over some people, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible. So not necessarily categories, because there's a different, when you say a category of AIs, there's different terminology for it. But I was just say classes, right? So like the different class. So currently AI has 4 general, like right now, types of classes. You have the generative AI. And when you think generative AI, you probably have heard that. It's something that's being created. So you create a document, and please feel free to take the pictures. I'll move my bald head out the way. When you create documents, pictures, reasoning, something that's tangible that you can actually use, generally speaking, that's generative AI. Some of the good examples are GPT-4, DALL-E 3. Can you get that? When we take a photo, I take a photo for you.
Thank you.
DALL-E 3, Midjourney, that's tangible that you can just take. The next one is predictive AI. It's a little more complicated. You need like a developer to really understand it. And it's kind of in the name, predictive. Like how do we predict certain trends? So if you think about the stock market, right? Like there's some type of prediction that someone makes, and it calculates that based on risk and different things. Same as AI. You can essentially do those with different technologies and tools to get that going. Large language models, the simplest way I can say is ChatGPT. Large language model. It helps conversate with you as a user, as we understand language and we understand how we talk and kind of conversate. That would be a simplest way of explaining a large language model. It's supposed to be a conversational agent, but I had a call with Verizon, and it just like gets on my nerve every time I call. It's just like telling me the wrong answer, it's giving me to the wrong department. So it's still working the kinks out, guys. And then finally, natural language processing and computer vision. So think seeing, talking, understanding images. When you think of, this, right? What would you think this is? This.
What exactly? It looks like a camera.
Okay, camera. So it's the understanding of an image and the description of what it is. So if I look at your cup, I say, oh, cup of coffee. Oh, camera. Oh, human. Oh, dog, So it's the understanding of a provided image, and then the processing of the language, same as like a large language model, and these can be kind of interchangeably used, but when you're, like say for example, you're building an application like a chat bot, you have to have some way of understanding the language and like inputting the output as is.
Wouldn't an example of that be like when Google, you can take a picture and put up there and they'll analyze it and tell you what it is?
Exactly. So reverse image search. How can we, reverse different images? How can we distinguish a bus from a cab or any other machine? There was a project that Microsoft did where you walk up to the screen and it'll describe what's going on. So like say, for example, I just walk up to the screen, guy in a blue blazer or bald guy in a blue blazer, chair, it recognizes different things about you, and it brings up a good discussion about why it's important to be diverse into the industry because, for example, if very biased people makes these machines, they're going to have very biased answers. So a black person comes up to a security screen, is it going to trigger the alarm?
The underlying issue, all the data that it's using, right, to learn on, if all the data is the same, the people all look the same, that's going to be the output.
Same
right?
output.
So it's that underlying information that it's using. It doesn't know any different. It only knows that single set of data.
Now we talk about Alexa. I'm going to talk about some use cases. I try to make it as simple as possible to describe kind of some AI into some of these features. And, you know, someone thought about this idea, right? This is a cloud-enabled Android device, essentially just dumbing it down. This is a cloud-enabled Android device. So someone thought about the product design, someone thought about the buttons, what happens, it turns on, turns off, whatever. But from an AI's perspective, you know, there's a few things that I really like about it. And of course, natural language processing, it understands what we say, like say, Alexa, pause, turn on the music, turn off the light, turn this, whatever on. And whatever language that you can speak. I think it's English, Spanish, just a couple of languages. But in theory, if you were to speak it in Lithuanian or something, it would be able to understand it, get the actionable item in the sentence that you said, and go do it. And then examples in a way that you can do something like that right now, of course, are ChatGPT, Claude, and then there's a AI dubbing solution that you can use called 11 Labs. I don't know if you guys heard of those AI songs that come on and they play like AI music or whatever. A form of those voices that they use are from like those 11 Labs types of software. And then predictive, let's say, right, like my phone tells the Alexa, hey, I'm coming home. The garage comes up, the lights turn on, security system comes off, I'm home, you know, at a certain time, let's say 9, 10, 11, I start to get ready to go to bed, lights dim down, security system locks the house. All of that's predictive. And of course you have to program every part of that, but essentially that enableability is done by a predictive AI engine. Second one, a smart refrigerator. Has anybody been to like Best Buy recently? Like they got some really cool refrigerators. They got this one, like you go in, and this is probably why I use it, because I just went into Best Buy, but they got one where it's a glass and it's a camera inside, and you can actually see before you open it, and it'll tell you if like food is spoiling. So yeah, that's some cool stuff. So that form of like technology is definitely recognition, so some computer vision, and then it would have to take some sort of image recognition to understand, okay, this don't look too good. This used to be green, now it's getting brown. Okay, it's time to take this out. And it'll tell you those types of functionalities. So kind of the same as the last one, but a little bit more of like computer vision to kind of enable this dumb thing to be smarter.
What was the question?
So the question was, what are the differences between like ChatGPT 4, you know, how they got like different versions? The best way I can explain it, you know how like every year they come out with a newer version of a car? It's the same way. Newer version of ChatGPT is a little bit faster, it's smarter, it may have electric engine versus the traditional, is hybrid. They're always improving on the model, the engine. That's how they productize it. And same like, it's an invention, like, right? This is a very smart invention that they very well productized. And then finally, security systems. This one's a little bit easier to conceptualize because everybody knows about ADT and Brinks or whatever the heck you got. But I mentioned before, like the human and face detection. All right, so when one of these cameras, they detect a human or a dog or something in the background, it's able to kind of distinguish that. Right now it's not perfect. You know, sometimes it gives some crazy answers. I've seen one where like, they like a regular black dude, they called him Obama. You know, they called a dog like some like ferret. So it's not perfect by now, but it's a walk in the right direction. And good examples of that, in the UK they have a surveillance system all over the UK called, it's like the mass surveillance system. And they have technology that distinguishes people from humans and actual, like they can detect crime. And then same for predictive measures, right? Like it utilizes smart predictions to understand, okay, when would a crime usually happen? Like, did it detect a a crash? Like usually like during certain times of the day, does something happen? Like, is there need to be more a presence in that specific area? So these are kind of simple ways I can kind of explain AI. And then, how do we use it? How do we use AI? So when you think about your idea, seriously think about what it is, what problems will it solve, and I'm sorry, I'll move out the way for you. What problems will it solve? Who's the target audience? How can I make money off it? Like who wants to make well, God bless you if you want to make an idea and not make money from it. But how do you make money from it? How long is it going to take for you to make money from it? Is it simple to explain? What are some legal regulational questions that you may have? What's the go-to-market strategy? Stuff that you just really need to sit down and say, hey man, I really didn't think that. And then with AI, you can test proof these things. So as I mentioned, like say you got your ChatGPT application, you can go on there and say, hey, is this a good idea? I want to make an idea that does X. Now I have a fake idea that I thought of. Don't laugh at it. It's called the Z bike, right? So it's a bike that's powered battery and solar energy equipped with early collision detection. Listen, some people need something like this because I'm like, y'all be riding, I'll be so close. ID lock and GPS theft prevention. Like this thing is like state of the art. It's electric. It'll take you wherever you go. It's waterproof. How much would it cost to build this thing? Now, generally speaking, right, like it's gonna be expensive because that's a lot of stuff in there, but it helps you with an idea to get started. You can get the finite facts later on, but to get started, $750 to $1,000 per unit retail, sell it $2,000, whatever. Legal compliance issues, safety certifications with, is it Untitled Labs, United Labs? Okay, UL, okay, just call it UL. CE, here the environmental regulations for the battery disposal and recycling. And that's another big important thing in electricity, just how you recycle, is there a buyback program, some of those things. And then target audience, right? Like who's gonna buy this? Is an old person gonna buy it? Is a young person gonna buy it? Students gonna buy it? Active professionals, urban dwellers, tech enthusiasts. Marketing strategy. How are we gonna do this? Social media, influencers, content, marketing, email campaigns. And it'll also help you generate the information for that. So if I'm making a pitch deck, bam, I can pull it in ChatGPT, it'll help me get started and I can go and put the assets. They even have solutions where you can just go in and get started. And then customer engagement, how do we solve different problems, right? Like some support issues, if something breaks, how do we solve it? Like what's the 24/7 hotline that we're gonna offer? So, and then what I do in the next slide is I kind of give an example with this same example. So I run this through ChatGPT, same way I just did it before. This is a prompt that I use and it generated all of this. I run this exact idea through ChatGPT so you get an understanding way beyond just right? Like if tech professional, went to college, may not be as best as I am in business school, may not be as best I am in tech school, but guess what? This thing is smart. It'll do most of the work for you. All you gotta do is just give it good ideas, give it good reasoning. So some that I've used that I can vouch for are these. Please feel free to take this slide or just actually scan this QR code right here because This will take you to a website that'll just show you a good list of them. Like, it's a bunch of them. Speaking to some of them, ChatGPT, you already know what it is. Everyone knows what ChatGPT is. Otter is a good one because, let's say, for example, this is a Zoom call. I want to record this call, but then I want to summarize it and send it out like a transcription to people. It'll do that, and then it'll intelligently do wizardry to make it, sound good. It's just an overall good one. Poe is a good one because it utilizes ChatGPT, Claude, Midjourney. It's kind of like that all-in-one kind of solution, so I definitely recommend people using Poe. Midjourney is a good one for creating images. Zapier is a good integrator. So it's kind of complicated to say what this does, but it's very powerful. InVideo creates videos. 11 Labs, like I said, it generates voices for you. Jasper is kind of like the same as 11 Labs, and also ChatGPT, where you give it a command, it'll generate content for you. Opus, Copilot, and Claude,
I want to thank our presenters here.